Hey everybody. So I just wanted to do a little newsletter blurb for you guys, like a little video. And I will probably put this on YouTube as well, so for later. I've been asked several questions about the programs that I'm doing. So I want to talk about those. But also I want to talk about the Akashic records. So there's a lot of mystery around the Akashic records. And I just watched something that kind of triggered something for me. I've been watching 2 different shows. Now, one of them is called Eureka, and it's on Amazon. I don't know if you can get it on Netflix or not. Maybe it's on Netflix. I don't know. Anyway, it's all combined on my TV. So, we're watching Eureka, and they have this artifact, they call it. And what this artifact looks like is a giant octopus. And this octopus is the connection to the field. And in this show, which was filmed a while ago, so I would say it's going to be more filmed by the bad guys versus the good guys, right? But there's a lot of good information in there, and it's filmed in a way that's not stressful to watch. But this field, this artifact, is interfacing with somebody, or communicating, is what I would call it, with somebody in the show. And to them, that's very frightening, right? Because they don't understand it. And it would be frightening to a 3D person, I suppose. Somebody who has turned off their intuition or has never accessed it. So think about it that way. Sorry for the stove fan in the background. But, so think about that. Why are they afraid? Why are they afraid of the Akashic records? Why are they afraid to access the information from the universe? So then the next show I was watching, which is also older, is a Star Trek show. And they're talking about time crystals, which is really interesting. And how those time crystals can show you the future. And once you hold on to that time crystal, once you basically create a contract, right? With an energetic contract, because crystals are energy, they're also frequency, and they're a living being. So once you actually decide to take that crystal, to hold it, you lock in your future. This was totally frightening to them because they saw the way that they would perish. And they also said that it would drive them crazy. It would drive them mad. So I think that is the way that people wanted the Akashic records to be seen in the past, as scary. Now, I saw another thing this morning, which is what I agree with. And it's that every 150 years we have some sort of recalibration or reset. And what does that do? That gets rid of the intuition. Because the intuition, our DNA, our crystalline structure, which is formed, all that's left is the brain that's not receiving the information yet, which is rising in frequency. The DNA is all intact for us at this point. What is the DNA? So this guy, he said the DNA is our connection to the Akashic records. So to me, what is the DNA? The DNA is your connection to who you are. The whole being. Everything that you are. And that's where schizophrenia would come in. Someone who didn't know how to control or separate their parallel lifetimes. It was too wide open for them. So then when they were considered crazy. So as we go through this process, we're going to start to access. And a lot of us already have. And that's one of the things that I do is I access with permission the Akashic records. So permission from the person that I'm working with. Sometimes I'm working with hundreds of people at a time. And we're asking their guides and their, soul and their angels and everybody to come in and assist. So that's one of the things that I'm doing in the journey to you. So let's talk a little bit about Ascension. What is Ascension? Ascension is raising the frequency. So just like the fan blades and turning them up higher and not being able to see them anymore, we can't see them because we can't vibrate that fast yet. We don't have that ability yet, but it's coming. So the ETs are vibrating faster than we are. They're moving faster. But we are beginning to see them. We are beginning to see things that maybe your dog doesn't see. Maybe a person next to you doesn't see, but you see it. Why is that? Because you're vibrating higher. So I want to talk about the thing that's coming up the fastest right now in the healing. And that is Bridge to Higher Consciousness. We're going to be doing a live healing. And it's going to be 3 of us. So all of us are energy healers. And all of us actually have a lot of connection to the universe, and we've seen it, and it's beautiful. So we're going to be doing different healings that are more individual to us, what we're strongest at for the group, and that's going to be on the website. So I'll put the connection to the website in the newsletter. It's going to be very powerful. And Bridge to Higher Consciousness is a place where you're going to be doing a lot of your own healing. And it's a group that is advanced. So they're fairly advanced and they're really self-driven. But they're getting a lot of assistance from us. So me, Abby, and Z. And all of us are concentrated on assisting the people in that group. Now, the other thing that's going on that I do is called soul guidance. And it now includes a massive activation that I did in order for you guys to talk to your own soul and get your own guidance. So you don't have to ask anybody else, is this true or not true? Do you believe this? What's the answer to that? You will have your own answers. So there is the activation, which you end up watching twice. And there's also a PDF of the way that you connect every day. And eventually you'll be doing what I'm doing, which is being connected whenever I ask to be connected. And talking like it's a regular conversation with your higher being. So your soul will be in contact with you all the time. So it's a connection between you, your inner child, and your soul. And the receiver of your mind is able to receive the information. Now, the journey to you, which is one that I was very pushed to do by my own soul because it's a culmination of all my knowledge. So we're going into the Akashic. We're healing the soul. The soul has a lot of shadows because the soul has lived many, many lifetimes, and not all of them have been wonderful because we've been in a polarity universe. That's how we learned, is by polarity, dark and light, push and pull. So that's the healing of the soul. And that happens once a month. And then every third month, I'm going to be doing a live discussion. And most of that will come from the questions in the group because you also have a chat group, as does Bridging Higher Consciousness. Now, that live event, they're not getting access to the chat group, but the live event will be tremendous. So, next thing, the journey to you also helps you remove the traumas, not necessarily remove them, but neutralize the traumas from your current life. So you're going to be able to let go of the ego, the things that are holding you back, the limiting beliefs. And then we also deal with the genetic line. So all those things that we say, one person will come back and we'll deal with all of the genetic line traumas and dramas that have plagued families forever. You're going to be able to do that in that program. So you get all three things. You get to heal your soul, you get to heal your current life, and you get to heal your genetic line in the journey to you. It's a massive program, and it's very inexpensive. And you get directions, and you get the video that starts you out each 30 days. So really, you are self-driven in that as well. And then we have Mastering Ascension. So what is that? Mastering Ascension is a group of people who are going to be going forward and creating something for the collective. And they know it. They know it inside of themselves. Now they're getting healings. We're meeting once a month. And we're healing. We're talking amongst ourselves. We're answering questions. And there's 2 meetings once a month. So these groups are amazing. And I can see the progression in Mastering Ascension and Bridge to Higher Consciousness in those 2 groups within the Signal chats. And it's big. People are starting their projects without waiting. And the way to do that is showing up for them. People are doing things that they were afraid to do before. They're going places that were going to be their future home. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening in those 2 groups. The journey to you is fairly new. And I'm watching people start to grow in there. So we're about a month in, and they're letting go of things. And we're working on worthiness right now. So those are the programs that are going to carry people through that I feel like it's a very holistic group. And some people are in multiples of these groups because it is inexpensive to be in them. And that's the gift that I wanted to give to you guys. But in order for it to work for me, I also have to have more people in them. So it's just kind of an amazing time right now with all the things and all the knowledge that's coming in. And we are inviting you to share in that. So the people that are involved is Brad and I in Mastering Ascension. And the people in the group, they are shining bright. It's amazing, really. The journey to you, we're just getting that started. And the people in there, they're working through their stuff. And this is a very important step in Ascension because we can't carry the baggage of the past into the future. So basically, they are clearing the way for their future lives. Soul guidance is another part of that because it gets you in touch with your soul. And you will be able to be in flow and follow the signs that you need to see. You will recognize them for your future. And with the bridges, the bridge to higher consciousness, I keep saying bridges, that has 3 very powerful healers in there. So it's me and Abby and Z. And we all have our specific things that we do. And we've all really spent a lot of time with ourselves, working on our own stuff, our own trauma, to release that so that we're not carrying it through in our healing. And also creating boundaries for ourselves, which we're teaching you guys as well, because that's something that the light worker hasn't done very well in the past. That's one of the contracts I think a lot of us came in with. But the people in Bridge to Higher Consciousness in that group, they are also shining. It's kind of an amazing time, and it's amazing to watch. It's amazing to watch people elevate. It's amazing to watch how they are growing so much. And they're talking about the magical things that they're experiencing. And you know how when you have a group, it actually magnifies the light. So that's what we're doing here. We're magnifying the light. And we all come together up in the astral plane. We come together and we have meetings and we decide, what are we going to do? What's the next step for humanity? What's the next step for my vessel, my inner child? What am I going to do to elevate myself? Our souls are all up there having conversations about this stuff. Because what we're doing is we're rising so that eventually we will see who we really are. And then humanity will come into their own soul group. It's really the most amazing time since the beginning of this universe. Or this polarized behavior. It is the most beautiful time since then. Because we're graduating out of that into unity. And we're going to be still very individual because we're still going to be learning. But we will know that we are speaking to a version of ourselves when we speak to someone else. When we hug someone else. And things will be driven by love. And I'm not talking about romantic love. Even though it will still be there, I feel it will be different. but it will still be there for sure.